Hello. It is New Year's Eve, and so I thought I would do a couple of special ones for today on a couple of different topics. The first one that I'm going to do is on masculinity. And I reread a book that I read a while ago, and it's called The Way of Men. And I'll pop it up here. Probably won't be able to see too much of it, but it's a bunch of skulls, basically, skeletons, and they're holding spears. And it's by this guy named Jack Donovan. And the book is about what the utilitarian use of man is in a survival type scenario. So, it's a philosophy book in a way, but basically that if you were to take away all of the constraints and all of the conceits of society, and you were in a post-apocalyptic war zone or something like that, like Walking Dead or something, that a man's use and value would only be in four different categories. The first would be strength. The second would be courage. The third would be mastery, like a mastery of a skill that's needed for everyone else. And then the fourth would be honor. So, in order to be strong, you have to make yourself strong. And that means being able to take on a load that someone else can't. And when he speaks about strength, he doesn't talk about strength of character. He's talking about actual physical strength. That you have to be able to move things, do things, carry things, do things that other people can't do. And that's one of your main utilities. The second, courage, is pretty straightforward. I mean, you have to be willing to do what other people won't do. You have to have the will to do something that someone else won't do, and maybe put your life on the line for everyone else. The third, now I'm forgetting what it is. So there's strength, courage, hold on. I know, this is the best video. This is the best video you've watched all day. The third was mastery, right? So mastery is, I know, I haven't been drinking yet. Mastery is having an excellent skill or being excellent at a particular skill, to value yourself and to have a value within a group that you can negotiate things very, very well. Okay? And the fourth one is honor. And honor is just part of who you are that makes other people trust you. Now, what this guy, Jack Donovan, advocates is going out and changing society by living these tenets and forming gangs, kind of like creating your own little mafia. If you have a gang of citizens that come out and they, work within this unit, that you will actually start creating a tribe, and within that tribe, you are able to be functional outside of society, in society and outside of society. And it's very kind of bleak premise. It's a very bleak premise, and I don't agree with the might makes right mentality of it, at least not in the culture that we're in right now. However, I do agree with the tenets of it. The tenets of it are very, very important, because I feel like no one is a fighter anymore. No one fights for what they actually believe in anymore. They might post something of it on Facebook. They might say, this is something that I believe. This is something that I think. They might get in an argument with someone at a cocktail party, but they're not getting their skin in the game. And in order to get your skin in the game, say if you're lifting weights or something like that, you might get calluses and your hands might start bleeding and you might start doing all of these things. It would be an adjunct to what's happening. If you do a lift called the deadlift, you will slide the bar up your shins and all the way up your body to your waist, picking it up off the ground. It's just a barbell, you pick it up. But it tears skin out of the front of your shins. And you do it over and over again, you get these scars. And it's one of the best lifts for becoming stronger because it's very functional. Something's on the ground, you pick it up. So in order to become stronger, in order to become more, you have to put some skin in the game. In order to be courageous, you have to do things that scare you. You have to go outside of your comfort zone. In order to have mastery, you have to focus on a skill. You can't shotgun your stuff out there. You have to focus. And in order to be honorable, you have to live with integrity. You have to live by your word, and you have to honor others. Now, one that I would add to this, and I think it's a brilliant premise for the book, that men have lost their utility. But one that I would add to it would be spirituality. Because if you, and we discussed this again a few days ago on that reductionism versus holism video, if you do not see things as interconnected and interrelated, then you don't respect them. And if you don't respect them, you use whatever you can use for your own use, and then you have no care or concern for anything else. And we've seen where that's gotten us in the world. We've seen how a disrespect and an uncaring feeling for an interconnectedness with anything will make it so that certain species that should be here are extinct and have died off. We'll make it so that, huge swaths of land will just cut chunks out of them because we want to grow coffee beans there and things like that because we really want our morning coffee. Effectively, we act like children. We act like children when we remove a feeling of oneness and a feeling of wholeness with everything. And in fact, if you were to go to this same premise and you were to take it back even further and you were to put it in a Paleolithic perspective, Paleolithic man was very spiritual. They worshipped things like reindeer and deer gods, and they worshipped animals and nature because nature was not only providing for them, it was also taking away from them. It could be their death, excuse me, it could be their death, or it could be their life. So we have to reintegrate these things that are fundamentally human, that make us human. The best parts of humanity are being able to be strong. The best parts of humanity are being able to be creative. The best parts of humanity are being able to function within a group of like-minded individuals and socialize and do all of those other things. But the most important parts of humanity are to remain human. We have to remain human. And that means not allowing others to take our humanity away from us. Not only not allowing ourselves to be distracted by shiny objects, but also to integrate into ourselves and into our society values and honor and respect and courage and strength, be it mental or spiritual or physical strength, in order to stand by our convictions and not allow ourselves to be driven underfoot, to be plowed underfoot. And this is a very, very vital part of being alive. We have to be able to laugh with one another. We have to be able to sing with one another. We have to be able to sit around and help each other survive. And when everything is against you and the monsters are out there in the dark trying to destroy you, you have to light a fire. And you have to huddle together with your backs to the fires and your spears pointing out into the darkness. You can't blindly accept any destruction of you, that someone comes up and takes little nibbles out of you over and over and over again, like a shark testing the meat. You can't sit by and let that happen, because eventually there will be no more of you. You have to care. You have to take care. You have to take care of each other. You have to care. If you don't care, you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. You're allowing others to kill you. And if you go, if you're the strong one and you go, what happens to everyone else that you're trying to protect? Don't allow the monsters to win. And if you have to form a gang or whatever, fine, whatever. Form a gang. You don't have to be a violent gang. It can be a combination of people that you really, really like, or that you care about, and that you're a cohesive unit, you're a group, they're your friends. Fine. But be something that can't be rattled. Be something that is concerned with the survival of humanity. Be something that cares about, if you live in America, the Constitution. Be someone who cares about life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Be someone who cares about advancing the well-being of yourself and others. Be someone who cares. Don't just be someone who cares about yourself, because then you're just selfish. You're not real. You're not a real person. You're what a selfish culture has made you into being. And as a selfish culture, if you are someone who has that mentality and you have a childlike quality to yourself, you're going to think everything is about you all of the time. You're going to eat whatever you want to eat, regardless of how badly it treats you, because it's sweet and you like the taste. You're going to do these things over and over again. You're going to become weaker. You're going to become more complacent. You're going to become cynical, but you're going to believe in being cynical. You're not going to advance yourself and others. You're not going to advance yourself and those around you. You're going to be stuck underfoot of those who want you to be underfoot. Okay? No presidential candidate, in the last 50, 60, 70 years has actually cut away laws. None of them have actually made it easier for you to be more free. All of them have added laws because they don't want you to be free. They want you to be less free. They want you to be more reliant on them. They're gang leaders. So start your own gang. Now, that's probably a pretty subversive idea or whatever, but, whatever. You gonna Patriot Act me? You gonna throw me in the clink indefinitely? People have to have their voice heard. There's more people than there are people pulling the strings. So be strong, be confident, be honest, have integrity, and make the world better. Make the world better. How about that for a New Year's resolution? Make your world better. Be more of a human. That's it. So that's this one. I'll probably do one or two more today, just because it's New Year's. All right.